All right, it appears to me that the verdict's in appropriate form. It's been completed. I'm going to read the verdict. Again, I would ask that there not be any overt reactions. We, the jury, find the defendant, Theodore Edgecomb, guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, a lesser-included offense of count 1 of the information. Based on that, the jury was requested and asked to answer a second question: did the defendant commit the offense of first-degree reckless homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer: yes. It's signed today by the foreperson who's juror number 4. Based on that verdict, everybody, I'm going to poll the jury. I'm going to start with the foreperson, move to my right, then start in the back row in the left, and move to my right again. Ma'am, was this and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, was this and is this your verdict?
Me? Yes.
Sir, was this and is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Starting in the back, my left. Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this was and is your verdict. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, again, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
And last but not least, ma'am, this is and was your verdict?
Yes.
All right, I've polled the jury. The jury has confirmed their verdict of guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, a lesser-included offense of count 1 of the information. I will ask the foreperson, ma'am, I presume, based on this verdict, that you left the other verdict forms blank. Is that correct, ma'am?
I did.
Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to thank you on my behalf, first of all, and also on behalf of the parties. I said previously more than once this week, and the lawyers acknowledged this as well, that to my observation, you've been certainly patient, first of all, and secondly, very, very attentive. There were times that things dragged. The case lasted a day longer than I thought it would, but you've all been very, very upright in coming to court, being here on time, listening intently to the evidence, the witnesses, the arguments of the attorneys. I am going to excuse you with the thanks of the court. I would ask if you stick around for a few minutes, I will come back to thank you in person in the jury room. I have to discuss a couple things with the attorneys. I would expect that that will only take 5 minutes. I will come back, thank you in person, and also potentially ask, or I should say answer any questions that you might have. Again, I very much appreciate your efforts over the course of the last 6 or 7 days. I appreciate your patience, and I know the parties appreciate your work and efforts as well. So everybody else can remain seated. If you can follow my bailiff out, in a few minutes I'll come back to thank you again in person. All right, the jury's been excused. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, state moves for judgment of conviction on the verdict.
I'm granting the state's request, denying the defense request. I'm entering a judgment of conviction on the verdict of guilty of first-degree reckless homicide while using a dangerous weapon. I'm ordering a judgment of conviction against the defendant. The defendant will be remanded for sentencing. We can discuss sentencing on this. I'll ask the defense if you want a PSI, a pre-sentence investigation done either by the DOC, or if you want to prepare one yourself. That will affect my sentencing date.
Yes, I would think we should have a PSI, Judge.
Fine, I'll order a PSI. Do you want that with or without a recommendation?
Without recommendation.
All right, I'll order a pre-sentence investigation from the state of Wisconsin, from the DOC. It will not include a recommendation. I candidly don't think I need a recommendation in this case. We'll set a sentencing date. The sentencing date will be in approximately 60 days. Again, the defendant is remanded for sentencing. I'm going to presume that the attorneys want to deal with the sentencings on the other 2 matters, the bail jumpings that were pled to last week at the same time. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Fine. Sentencing on all 3 matters will proceed in about 2 months. I'll have my clerk pick a day. We'll set aside a fair amount of time. Madam Clerk. What day of the week is that? What day of the week is that?
I can't do that Friday. And I'm not available the next week. I apologize.